Good morning. Hello, am I audible?
Good morning to all participants, delegates. So, myself, Jailal Sarkar, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Tripura University. So, once again, very good morning to all. Good morning, sir, to present here, sir. So now,
Good morning.
Now we'll start our first session on the basis of smart city architecture by Professor Sudipta Roy. Professor Sudipta Roy is basically working in Assam University as a full professor in Silchar, ex-dean of Triguna Sen School of Technology, Assam University, chairman of the Committee of Research Promotion Cell. He has published several scholarly research papers in reputed international journal and conferences. So now I would like to invite you, sir. Please deliver your lecture. Please.
Thank you. Thank you, Journal. Am
Thank
I
you, sir.
audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay,
Your slide also visible.
fine.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So thanks to all the participants and to the organizers for this timely series of lectures, whatever is there, that is on smart city architecture and smart city and IoT. So today I will discuss on smart city architecture. So as this is the first lecture of this program, so I will start from the very first thing, what is basically smart objects, then smart city and how we can tell a city smart, and then Indian perspective, where we are, why we are thinking about smart city projects, and slowly we will go towards the different architectural aspects of smart city. What what will make the city smart, different components, and at last, one of our example of smart city. That will be, I will try to cover in this 90-minute session. And if we tell anything smart, then what exactly a smart object will be? So a smart object can be told as the object, as the equipment or thing that can sense the environment. Environment means the surroundings, the effect of the surroundings, any change in the surroundings. It can interpret the environment. It has to interpret. Otherwise, it cannot mimic, it cannot respond. It can self-configure itself as per the change needed when we are interpreting the environment. And it is able to interact with other objects. When we are interacting with other objects, obviously, we are exchanging the information. So, if anything, that are capable to sense, to interpret the environment, to self-configure itself, along with the interaction and exchange capability, then we can tell the object is a smart object. Now, a city. City is an abstract noun. City is not any human being, is not a particular person, but a city comprising of everything. Everything means all the stakeholders, starting from its governance, the board of government, its citizens. These are the major living stakeholders along with the living beings, plantations, its domestic animals, as well as the facilities, the activities associated with these people, with these entities, along with the activities. So those all will comprise my smart city. And smart city, as in ISO TMB, it has considered in 2015 that a smart city dramatically increases the pace at which it improves its sustainability and resilience. These two terms that will be told throughout this program, and we have to make our cities sustainable and resilient enough. How it engages society comprising of all the citizen and its peripheral. how it applies collaborative leadership methods, how it works across disciplines and city systems, and how it uses data and integrated technologies so that we can make the life more meaningful. Meaningful means in terms of facilities, more facilities, as well as environment friendliness that has to increase because our carbon footprint is increasing. We have to decrease it. On environment, there's the ill effects of the urbanization should be minimized. We have to be careful about our planet. So if we start with smart cities, and if we can able to carry on this, then automatically we can go towards the smart planet vision. This is one definition that we can think of. But more than that, by Cohen has given a good description about the smart city where it is told that smart cities use ICTs. Why? Why it will use ICTs? To be more intelligent, to be more efficient. To do what? To be more intelligent and efficient, to use the resources, available resources. And it will resulting in cost and energy savings, as well as it will improve the services and quality life of the citizen. Ultimately, it will reduce the environmental footprint. And this is our smart city that we have to think. So, in this diagram, cities, we are telling about urban system as well as social systems comprising of these two systems. The urban systems are comprising of the buildings or roads, that is infrastructure, the energy production and requirement, waste that is producing, water and green infrastructure. But there are societies, the social systems where citizens and the public officials, these are the foremost one who will work as the core systems. The social economics that has a great impact. We have to think about public safety and public health, the education, as well as the surroundings, nearby neighborhoods that we have to think of. And when we are thinking of about all these things, how ICT will work. The ICT infrastructure from the hardware or infrastructure level, we should have the connectivity through the broadband or wireless ones. We should have different sensors. We have to use mobile devices, robots, and we have to create data centers to complete the facility, to generate those facilities through the softwares or applications. So I hope all we know about hardware software integration, and in this software integration we have to careful about our social media. The social media should be incorporated in this initiative. We should have our smart grid, smart meters into board, our smart transportation, big data and modeling things along with our GIS that will make our city, that can make our city smart. Now, we have to think again. Origin of our smart city, where from it has originated. So, the origin of smart city, the concept of smart city originated at the time with when the IBM, they have started the Smart Planet initiative in 2008, and IBM started the term that smart cities as part of that Smarter Planet initiative. So it is basically comes from that initiative where the industry people were thinking about smarter planet. And at the beginning of 2009, the concept has spread over the globe. In European cities, in European Union, they adopted it previously. And in India, government of India has started the smart city vision in 2015. So in perspective of European countries, European cities, they thought about better public transit. They thought about the cycling and walking will be motivated so that the carbon footprint can be diminished. And always they were thinking about sustainability that started from 2009 onwards. In India, we started in 2015 as the vision government of India has started. Now, the smart city, the need to handle global environment. Why we will need to handle global environment and urbanization problem. If we grow through this urbanization problem, we can find out there are huge problems that we are facing now. Why? Because the global warming day by day is increasing. The climate is changing. The world population is increasing as well as the resources depletion. India is one example. Our population is increasing, but the resource that is in depletion. And adverse effects of increasing urbanization that should be minimized. So to handle all those things, we need smart cities. The need to accommodate changing lifestyles that is needed, where we give more value towards the uses above ownership. We have to focus on non-monetary values. We have to wide opportunities for work and study for all the citizens. Otherwise, the adverse effect will come. We have to overcome our restrictions of time and space. We have to think about the consumer-producer system. And when we will think all these to be overcome, the problem of our urbanization, we are indirectly thinking about the sustainability. So we have to develop sustainable cities in a long-term approach where different phases are there: early phase, growth phase, mature phase, transformation phase. So in these phases, we have to start from infrastructure development towards facilitating all the effects of the smart city that should reach to all the citizens. Effectively, it is enhancing the city competitiveness in terms of service. Service means all the services, including all, that is education, healthcare, waste management, water management, transportation, safety, elderly people's safety. All these things will be covered, and that will tell that the city is smart enough for the living beings, for us. That is the basic thing that we have to think. Now, the problem of globalization, in the leftmost bar graph, we can find out, it is from the United Nations. We can find out that in 1950, the world was having population of 2.5 billion people. Almost 2.5 billion people was there in 1950, and within 100 years, that is 2050, it is projected towards more than 9 billion people. So it is huge. And the world, the space is same, the resource is diminishing, and we have to work with all those. That is the problem. We have to use efficiently all the resources. Otherwise, scarcity may come in. We can have problem with those. In the right hand side, upper graph, that is telling in 1950, the people that was living in cities was only 30%, whereas the people was living in the villages was 70%. So the city versus village population was 30:70, that is 3:7. In now nearly 50% of the population is living in urban cities as well as 50% in rural days. But as the projection is going on, in 2050 the situation will be reversed. 70% people will be in the urban states, in urban cities, whereas in rural areas 30% of the people will be. So this is the urbanization process that is forecasted. We have to take care. Otherwise, the system will be not sustainable, not resilient enough for a better, healthy atmosphere into the society. And in economies, in terms of economies, GDP growth, the lower portion, that is telling about developed economies will have in 2025 the GDP growth as 26%, emerging market will have 14% and others. So our 70% of global GDP that will come from the cities. 30% of global GDP that will come from top 75 cities. So based on that GDP, we have to take care about the services that we will provide to those cities. This is the challenge of urbanization, the challenge on infrastructure development, the challenge on sustainability, and topmost the livability. The challenge is there, and due to that, the smart city concept was adopted by all the countries. In India, it is in 2015. So the goal of the smart city is to achieve a sustainable development scenario, to increase the quality of life of its citizens, to improve the efficiency and the existing and new infrastructure. That is the goal of smart city initiative. And the objective is to identify the critical technologies that planners need to know. Then only we can stress on those technologies, those critical points. We have to determine the aspects of smart cities, which one are interested in, because all the cities characteristics are not same. The city characteristics has to take care, and then we have to think with those characteristics. We have to determine how the field of planning can utilize this information. That is the features of a particular city, the own features, the culture of that city. That should be protected. And the value to their communities should be protected, should be taken care of. We have to determine the appropriate mechanism of informational transfer. That is the data sharing, the data transfer part. We have to take care about those. We have to identify how we can utilize smart city technologies. to get the word out. Yes, we have to take care about those things. And the smart city characteristics. This is the smart city characteristics where we have to think about the people, the smart people who will work, who wants to be smart for the smart living. The governance should be smart governance where everything or 100% of the information will be transparent. The economy should be smart economy, giving opportunities to all the segments. Smart mobility, the mobility of the people, the all the stakeholders will be very smart, manageable without wasting much time, and the overall environment should be smart so that we can think about the smart living. And this is the smart city industry perspective where from the industry point of view, we have to take care about each and every point. The smart governance at the top. The governance has to think of smart city project. Basically, it is a top-down approach. Then it will come into different segments. The first, the government has to think about the smartness. Then smart energy, the consumption of energy and the quality of energy, that should be smart. Smart means it will use environment friendly ways to generate the energy. So solar energy is highly acceptable. We will try to decrease the other form of energy consumption. We have to use it efficiently. Unnecessarily, we will not spoil any energy. Then smart water management. The usable water, the drinkable water, that scarcity will come in. Scientists are forecasting that in India by 2030, in different levels, different cities, the drinkable or usable water crisis will come if we are not smart enough to use it efficiently. How we can become smart enough? To stop the unnecessary wastage of water, to recycle the used water so that the water scarcity can be stopped. Smart waste management. The generation of waste for any urbanization process is a huge one. And we have to manage that waste efficiently so that the ill hazards of the waste should not come. And as the computer science people or the engineering people, we know that the e-hazards, the e-wastes are huge nowadays, and we have to be more careful as like the plastic. E-hazards are having a huge impact on our environment. We have to think about our smart development and the infrastructure. Within the infrastructure, we should think about smart digital infrastructure. That's why it is a separate one. Digital infrastructure, we need a lot. Otherwise, we cannot think of the smart city project a successful one. We should think about smart transportation and mobility, as well as we have to think about safety and security of the infrastructures, buildings, as well as stakeholders, safety and security of the data. All we have to think. We have to think about the disaster management, smart disaster management, because through the disaster, the society may get a huge impact. That is, the unforeseen effect may come in. My system my smart system should be capable enough at least to minimize the effect of disaster. That is my disaster management. We cannot stop it. We cannot we cannot tell that disaster will not happen, but we can assure that from the disaster management, the effect on society, including the life of the people, is safe. We can give the safeguard towards our property, towards our resources, including the human resources. We should think about smart agriculture. India is a country with agriculture, and our agricultural lands should be properly used, because with the urbanization process, the actual agricultural land is diminishing, as well as the agricultural product requirement, that is the product in the form of food grains. We want much more to cater more population of the world. So we have to think about smart agriculture, and then smart healthcare. That is a huge one, because our with the advancement of the healthcare systems, now old age people are increasing in the society. We should take care about them. They are our past, they are our present, and they can guide us for the future. So our wealth is our old age people. We should take care about them, and smart healthcare can help us to carry on those works. And smart education. Smart education means everything means during this pandemic we have found out the pros and cons of online system. The lectures even to the school children, that was done during the last 20 months in online mode. We have tried, but that was not the best way, because our infrastructure was not ready. We were not prepared that time to cater the service to our 100% students in 100% schools and colleges and universities. So it took certain times, but at the end of 20 months, now we have achieved somewhere where we can give the service to the students, to the society. And smart education will cater service to 100% of the people. Our new education policy that government of India has floated, through that policy, the education system is going to the smart education. The vision is that education for all at any time, everywhere. So education everywhere and at any time, that education can be called as smart education. So from the industry perspective, we have to take care about all these components to make our city a smart city. So the benefits of smart city, how it will give, it is the basic thing. When we get to a critical mass, the data on the benefits is telling like 50% reduction over a decade in energy consumption. So during next 10 years, in perspective of India, the smart city project started in 2015-16 and it will up to 2025. During this period, the energy consumption should be reduced towards 50%. That's why the government of India as well as the people, we are transforming ourselves towards the LED lights. As we will go through the LED lights, the energy consumption is reducing. 20% decrease in traffic. Yes, traffic means in city life, the mobility is controlled through the traffic, public vehicles as well as private vehicles. The population of the cities are increasing, and it will increase up to 2050, as the projection is telling. The 70% people will be in cities, will be in urban areas. So the population will increase, the mobility will increase, the traffic will increase, but we have to decrease the traffic by 20%. And certain initiatives are taken care of. That is going on. 80% increase, improvement in water usage. In India, basically in India, as the water is available very affluently, so we are not thinking about water, but the underground water scarcity is coming. The level is decreasing, and now the impact is much more. We have to think about 80% improvement in water usage, 20% reduction in crime rates. As the urbanization process is coming, so that is the adverse effect of urbanization, that the crime rates may increase. In certain cities, it has increased in India. But we have to decrease the crime rates by a 20%. And globally, the smart city project is having a huge impact, because nearly $3.482 trillion that will be spent, that will be used by 2026 to make the cities smart, so that we can think of a smarter planet. That is the main thing. So we have to think as technology people, we have to take care about the thinkings, and out of that 100% investment, the major share, nearly 1/4, 24.6%, that will go towards smart governance and education. So smart governance and smart education will get 1/4 of total smart city project value. 13.5% will be on smart security, 15.8% on energy, smart infrastructure development. There are share position is 13.1%. Smart mobility 8.7%. All the cities are having their own characteristics, and different cities are having different characteristics on managing the traffic. But we have to improve based on the characteristics of that particular city. So the plan for smart mobility for Agartala, it is also one of the 100 smart city project. So the plan for Agartala will not be same as the plan for Pune in Maharashtra. The characteristics are different, the requirements are different. So we have to think about those things into our mind. Smart healthcare 14.6%, and smart buildings. We have to make our buildings green building, that is green architecture. We have to think of. Already it is started. This is in respect to India, the crisis that is coming in, smart crisis. So the crisis is in healthcare, the number of diabetes in India is to rise from, you are getting the number, that is from 50 million to 100 million in 2030. It is projected one. We have to take care. So the diabetes patient in India will be doubled by 2030. The cancer incidence in India will rise by 2030 by 78%. It is the propositions, and it is very, very alarming. By 2030, the 25% of deaths in India will be from heart disease. Now we have to think about our healthcare system. During pandemic, in India, we have made the healthcare infrastructure a lot. That is a good one. That was not done previous time. That was not done in previous times. Whatever we have done in last 20 months. But we have to think covering all, not only to fight coronavirus, but we have to think, take care about our diabetes, about the cancer, about heart disease. Indian healthcare system is reactive. Reactive means we only go to the doctor when we are facing any disease, we are facing any ailment, any problem. And the doctor is giving medicine only when we went with certain disease. But for diabetes, to fight with cancer, to fight with heart diseases, we should be more proactive. Well, we should be careful before disease comes. So the Indian healthcare system should have to be transformed from reactive one towards proactive one. We should take care about our own health. During last 20 months in pandemic situation, the people, general people, were thinking about the consumptions of healthy diet, vitamins, nutrients. If we can consume throughout the life, if we can make the minimum requirement of our body, minimum level of vitamins, nutrients daily, then we will have that immunity to fight against cancer, to fight against heart disease, to control the diabetes. So our healthcare system, we have to transform towards proactive one. Next, generating energy and low costs. Yes. In India now, we are the fourth largest carbon emitter throughout the world. And our annual carbon emission, as projected by 2035, it will be increased about 7 to 8%. We have to take care. So we should think about alternative energy sources. Because by 2035, we have to increase our energy production to give service to the urbanization process. The requirement, energy requirement will be much more. As projected, we have to make 112% increase in energy production. But it is not too easy. If we are going for the fossil fuels, if we depend on the fuel of coal, then obviously carbon emission will increase. That will affect the environment. That will indirectly affect our health. The cancer will increase more. The heart diseases, lung diseases will come in. So it will have a great impact on it. So we have to think about alternate energy sources like our solar energy. From wind energy, water energy, we have to depend on. Next, we have to provide food for everybody. It is the government initiative, and the government has made the policy that food for all. Now Indian population is 1.3 billion, and we need now the food production is 260 billion ton. And by 2040, we have to double the production. The requirement will be doubled. But the fact is, our yield production rate is decreasing by 12% due to climate change. So we have to think about more production, whereas our yield production rate is decreasing. We have to find out the way. We have to double our production. Otherwise, again, starvation will start. Another aspect, our agricultural land will be decreased by 2% due to urbanization, due to smart building for all, to create the infrastructure, roads. So our agricultural land, we will lose by 2%. So with the 98% of our land, existing land, we have to make 100% increase in our production. But the real scenario is the yield production is decreasing. So we have to be more careful. Okay. And after that, our mission is clean water for all. So climate change is having its own effect on water availability. And as I was telling, the water shortfall in India will be nearly 50%. As the scientists are predicting, by 2030, the shortfall will come in. We have to be more careful about this. We have to make our cities livable. But how? Our air pollution is much more. Throughout the world, we are holding the first position, as this year also Delhi becoming the most polluted city. We have to take care. Our other cities, they are also not far behind. They are also producing much more air pollution. If the air is polluted, then how we will think that our people are in a livable condition? So the air pollution, water pollution, these should be our first priorities, most prioritized items. Our urban waste, the waste that is produced due to urbanization, our urban waste would increase 6 folds, 6 times over 35 years. We have to find out the way of recycling all these waste. Already 2/3 of the Indian cities are facing water crisis. Our crime rates has increased, and 10% of the world's road accidents happen in India. This is a very alarming situation, condition that has come up from the surveys, that our road accidents are much more in respect to world. We should be more careful about our smart transportation, smart mobility, how we can carry on. India is a vast country. Our topography is different. We are having ocean in certain portions. We are having high hills in certain portions. So we should be more careful about these adverse effects. And we should give quality education to all our people, all our citizens. 58% of Indian children do not complete primary school. I am not telling about literacy or illiteracy, but when we are telling about the primary education, the children should complete the education certain level. Our 58% children are not able to complete the primary education. And then 90% do not finish high school. But India has a higher education enrollment ratio, just 19.4%, while other developing countries, they are having 58%. The situation is not at all good. Rather, we can tell it is a very bad situation for us in higher education. So, we should make things differently. We have to think differently so that the higher education can be worked out. During last 20 months, whatever started in our new education plan, whatever the government initiatives had come up, now the education will go to the people, not the students. The education seeker will come to the university or colleges. Rather, the college, university, schools has to go from home to home, from children to children, to give the service, to give the education to the society. And I think we can do it. Now, we know all these things we have to give. What idea we got from the very beginning of this session? The foremost one is our smart living. So smart living is about everything that whatever I told, I discussed, and it will be pronounced throughout this week in this program. Smart living, we have to think concerning everything. We will start our day with the smart thinking, smart living in the morning, and we will go to sleep with the smart thinking, with healthy thinking, not anything more. And it will start from our smart home. So, unit by unit, if we think about different units, if we make these units smart, automatically our whole thinking will become smart. The city will be smarter. We have to start with our home. At home, we may have different facilities that can be automated, that can be more meaningful. As like in our gardens, the irrigation process for our gardens or the rainwater, what will come up, those should be managed efficiently. That is the part of irrigation, and we can manage it. We can think about our smart appliances, our washing machines. Those should be smart enough to use water and energy more efficiently. Now, the 5-star energy consumption appliances are available. Along with that, the inverter technology has come in. That is not the full stop towards the appliances, but we can make more intelligent so that the energy as well as the water consumption for washing machines can be more efficient. Our other gadgets, home appliances, will be smart enough. The building is consuming a light, huge light, and that lighting system can be smart, can be automated. Whenever there is no people, no need of light, so automatically it can be diminished or it can be switched off. Previously, we were having LEDs or any other bulbs in two modes, on or off. But now we are in a state to apply the intensity of the bulb in zero state towards the full glow state with certain levels, so that if we are in the reading mode, then we need the full glowed bulb. full blown light. If we are in just gossiping mode or just to keep the light on, then the diminished light maybe half of the energy or maybe less than that energy can be consumed, and that can be possible. Already it has come up. We should be using it. We may have our thermostats that will control the temperature of the building, and it should be smart enough so that when the switches of the coolers, cooling machines, appliances will be on, when it will be off, that can be controlled. Not the general normal air conditioning systems, but the inverter based air conditioning system can give us more energy efficiency, as well as the gas emission that will be less. For our cooling appliances, we are generating certain adverse effect towards the air. Air pollution is increasing. But when we are thinking about more recent technologies, the effect is minimizing. We are trying to. If we can go for smart buildings, then we can think of the buildings where the requirement of air conditioning systems will be very less. From the architectural point of view, the requirement of light, artificial light, will be very less. The building can be automatically illuminated by the sunlight, as well as the building can be architected in a way that the requirement of air conditioning systems, the requirement will be less. We have to think of securities. So security cameras will be there, and through that we can control many things. Our appliances, TVs, speakers will be smart enough, as well as the locks of the front doors, where from the people will go in or go out. If we can make those locks intelligent enough, then the home can be called as a smart home, where if our elderly father, mother, or relatives are staying alone, they will be in safe one. They will be in safe mode. They will not face the problem. If we are having smart gadgets, then we can take care about their health conditions, because we will sense different data from those gadgets, and that can be sent to the previously mapped people through the data centers, through the mobile networks, and we can take care about any unforeseen situation where the people are falling ill. That can start from our smart home. Already we are telling, we discussed about how we can make our energy saving scheme in our home, how we can make life simpler. So these are certain points that are made here. We can make our home secured and safe. We should handle regular household tasks. Yes, regular household tasks that can be made automatically, more efficient way. We can do these things. We may have smart TVs in our home, where as per our requirement, using AI, as per our requirement, the TV can suggest us the programs. We can use smart locks or garage doors. We can even think of pet care systems, kitchen appliances, household system monitoring, and effectively the smart building, that is the green building architectural viewpoint, that can be made from the smart unit. The home is a basic unit. We can start with that in our society. Then we will come towards smart mobility. So smart mobility is telling about the transportation of the city, of the people. And in this picture, we are telling about mainly the parking and movement of the traffic. Number one, here at number one position, it is found out by the sensor that this position is vacant for parking. So one parking slot is available here, and this is sensed by the sensor. What is sent to the data center, and when a particular car at 3, the car is requesting for a parking space, then from that center we can get that yes, the number one slot that is vacant now, and from my GPS it will guide me towards the vacant positions that is shown here by the sky blue, sky green one arrow. So the car will come guidedly towards the parking space, and it will be much more efficiently we can use the parking space, and the traffic jam will not be there. Otherwise, what is happening in our daily condition? The car has to stop somewhere and it will go for searching. It will slow its race and it will searching for parking where I can park. If the parking slots are not available, then generally we are trying to park here or there, and that will increase the deadlock condition of the city. So the parking of the city, efficiently using of the parking space of the city, that is one basic criteria of the smart mobility, and we can use it efficiently through our technology, through IoT, how we can use it. Let's find out IoV. This is Internet of Vehicles. Internet of Vehicles means through the internet capacity or capability, vehicles can contact with other vehicles, vehicles can contact with the roads, that is the roads condition and vehicle conditions where we are, those can be shared, the status can be shared. That is the Internet of Vehicles, where the safety, efficiency and infotainment, all the systems can be implemented. And for safety, we can create certain collision avoidance situations. If all the vehicles are run under the IoV scheme, then obviously the system, the controlling office will get the status of that vehicle, where it is, and it can guide to avoid collision. So it will reduce the accidents. The unwanted scenarios can be overcome. It can increase the efficiency in the term of route navigation, in term of intersection control, in term of parking navigation, as well as cooperative driving. So one will allow, suppose two vehicles are coming towards a particular point where nowadays the signal lights or the police people in the junction are controlling the cars. But if we are going towards our smartness, our smart mobility, if we implement our Internet of Vehicles things, then we ourselves will allow others into the cooperative driving mode. And we can get the infotainment by video streaming or content sharing or internet access through that Internet of Vehicles. And this will help to become the mobility smart. So this is what we were telling about driving safety related. That is possible by using the collision avoidance system. We can increase the transport efficiency. And these are the smart mobility providers who are having different applications throughout the world to make the mobility more smarter. Only we now need to integrate all these applications into a controlling office so that we can use all this. The next one will be our healthcare. As I was telling, the Indian healthcare system is more reactive rather than proactive. So now we have to think about the hospitals first. And during pandemic, the hospitals, the efficiency of hospitals as well as the capacity of the hospitals are enhanced. Enhanced, keeping in mind the spreading of the virus to control the virus. But we have to think more than that. What we have to think? We have to think about seamless integration with various existing technologies so that our healthcare system can be efficient one. We have to support big data processing and analysis. We have to go for personalized services because the next generation healthcare system will be more personalized. We cannot avoid it. So the personalized healthcare treatment will have different capabilities. And the treatment plan for the same disease will differ from person to person. We should take care about those scenarios. We have to think about quantitative data and effectively we have to use the resources, healthcare resources that is available with us efficiently. This is our Internet of Things applications in smart healthcare that we can think of. One side we are having hospitals and clinic, and other side we are having non-clinical patients, because always the patient have to go to hospital. It is not like that, but hospital and clinics we have to think of in one hand, as well as non-clinical patients we have to think in another front. In hospital and clinics we are having different things. In hospitals, the emergency services, operating room, these are the basic criteria, basic need. And in clinics we have to think about prescriptions and those outdoor things that can be done. Now in non-clinical patients, here the smart home that has come up, because when only the elderly people or ill people or the people with disability, they are staying in a home, if we can create that home a smart home, then through the information of that home, we can address the healthcare system to the recipients by mobile clinic or by telemedicine or by assisted living. This is in our smart home clinics. In the connected persons, we can have differently timely manners. We can have wellness centers where we can give non-clinical patients certain environment to come up. And this is our smart hospitals that can be taken care of by making the available Internet of Things architecture. Our clinics can be made more smarter, more automated, efficient, so that the general practitioner can get the instant data about the patient. sitting over there, because the patient history that can be shared from the data centers, the patient history can be used with the availability from the data center, so that the doctor, the practitioner, can visualize the previous history of that patient. He do not have to think about many things, but the patient's history will help that particular doctor to make certain decision. And this is the ultimate one, where the loop will be closed, that is healthcare system from home to hospital to home. We can start with any incident that is happening in our home. Suppose one particular person, Randall, has fallen down at home, and after that, when he fall down at home, then the robot in the home, it alerts towards the medical ambulance that the particular person needs help, needs medical help. Then the ambulance come and take the person towards the hospital. In the hospital, with the help of electronic health record, EHR. So the electronic records are available to the hospital people. The EHR, electronic health records, that is available to the particular doctors, and they can find out the way, as well as then and there they can find out the tests and diagnosis, and they may think about the surgery or any other means, whatever is required for that injury. And after the done, when that particular person is in hospital bed, automatically we can sense about smart healthcare systems. Our automated hospital beds will help that particular person to be well, and after wellness, it can be discharged and can be come to home again, when the incident along with the prescriptions, everything is again kept into safe custody of the controlling officers for future use again. So in future, if any doctor wants those records, that doctor can get that. That is the closed loop healthcare system, home to hospital to home. And in this home, if any rehabilitation is required, is suggested by the doctors, then the smart home non-clinical environment will be created, where the rehabilitation process will start and the person will come to the mainstream life again without falling into any problem. Like that, we have to think about our renewable energy. In our energy system, we have to think about renewable energy 100%, so that we can produce less carbon footprint there. So we can think of a sustainable level of bioenergy. If it is possible, then we can think of bioenergies. And moreover, now the government initiatives has come up to go for solar energy. If we can generate solar energy or alternate energy power as per our environment, then we can reduce the CO2 emission, the carbon emission, and we can tell that our environment is going towards the clean environment. So this is the smart energy one basic one, that from the power grid, that is power grid is our commercial network, from the power grid, if for the industry, if we need the heat utilization. Obviously, we can do it. But in another form, if we are producing any solar energy, we will transfer that solar heat towards the grid. And then at our need, we will take that power, power from the grid. So we will give certain portion of solar energy we can produce from our buildings, from my own place, and we can put it, we will use it for our own. Then if it is excess, not required every day, then I can put it into the grid. And whenever it is as like a deposit bank. So I am depositing the energy bank into the grid. At my need, I will use it from the grid. That is one thing that can be thought of. Now we can think about smart education. So the education system will also be more efficient so that no dropouts, no left out children of our society will be there. So in our smart education system, we can have different Internet of Things appliances, IoT appliances. We can have interactive gaining of knowledge. We should have poster boards into IoT enabled boards. We should think about learning at any time, anywhere. Our safety features, mainly data safety, should be there. And we can use our different attendance system, learning systems into board so that we can make our education more smart. So we should change our poster boards into our IoT enabled boards, where we can use different multimedia features, different other photos, videos, texts that we can use to make the poster more livable, more informative, more knowledge based. And that will help our society, that will help the children to get more knowledge, more interest into that particular domain. Now, the interest of the children, the students, should be increased with this type of poster boards, and the instructor can use different applications, different resources as per need for those group of students as the purpose of learning. Next, we can think of interactive gaining of knowledge. Yes, the knowledge should be interactive gaining, and we can use the different gadgets to get that knowledge into our board. We should not stick on a particular portion of that knowledge or only one resource. Previously, we were telling about chalk and talk or note based, class note based. Then comes our different PowerPoint presentations. Nowadays, the smarter boards and posters has come up. Well, whatever we are writing into the board, that can be digitized, that can be recorded, and we can record it, keep it into our centers, into our repository for future use, for future enhancement, development. That is possible, and that is doing during this pandemic situation, when the different teachers, they were trying to give lectures towards their students. The different facilities has come up like WebEx, that was taken care of by Cisco, like Zoom, like Google Meet, Microsoft. They have come up. So all the industry people, they were thinking of different way so that a group of people can be associated into the not only the audio streaming but also the video streaming, and all the streaming can be controlled. It should not be in a chaos. If 50 participants all are trying to talk at one time, then a chaotic situation can come up. So the gadgets, the softwares, the facilities that are created by the industry, they have used certain different facilities to control that unforeseen situations. And our next gen uh, education system is going towards education anywhere at any time. And as we were telling about disaster management, obviously the disaster management that we should take care in staying into the society, because that is the natural calamity that cannot be well predicted, well advanced time, each and every time at a well advanced one, we cannot predict it. But as I was pronouncing that we can minimize the effect of the disaster. What type of disasters can be there? The disaster management system is having different service oriented disaster management, natural disaster management, man-made disaster management, and post-disaster management. After the disaster has happened and it is over, then again rebuilding process will be there. That is post-disaster management. So these four types of management scenarios are there. Among the natural disaster management, volcanic disaster management, flood disaster management, forest fire, landslide, earthquake disaster management, these are the major ones that should be taken care of. In certain countries where volcanoes are there, that volcanic disaster management is a foremost one. And some countries have come up with different technologies in disaster, in volcanic disaster management. Japan is working on it, as well as Nicaragua. In Nicaragua, one industrial IoT they have implemented, and they are taking it as a prediction to give the warning system for the volcanic eruption. Also, Japan, Korea, they are working on it, and they are also successful to implement those things. But the prediction, how far it is possible, it is able to predict, but not before a long time. Now the people are working to get the information much ahead of time, actual time, so that the preparation can be much more. This is a challenge. Flood disaster management. Yes, in India, we are badly affected due to flood disaster. Different times the cities are also flooding. The agricultural land are flooding. So in India, flood is a real disaster to us. And we have to control that flood disaster management through the use of sensors. So whenever the water level is increasing or heavy rainfall is predicting from the meteorological department, we can alert different authorities, different dams and river organizations to take care about that heavy rainfall, to take care about the incidents that may come up during next few weeks, that we can tell. Also, we can sense the water levels from the rivers, how it is rising. So the different level of alerts orange alert, red alert, different alerts are there that will be given to the residents nearby river so that they can take care. In University of Berkeley, the people worked on floating sensor network. The sensor is floating on the water, and it can sense the changes into the water so that the network can transfer the data to the controlling center where the data will be analyzed and the forecasting result will be predicted. It is also a problem in India as well as throughout the world. The forest fire disaster management, we are losing hectares, certain hectares of forest due to forest fire. If we can get certain rid of from this forest fire management, we can early stop, control that forest fire. We can save our wildlife through that forest fire, from that forest fire, and as well as the property, that is forest property, that is lost a lot. So we can control those. Landslide disaster management, that is also a problem in India, because India, the north and northeast India is having the Himalayan range throughout India. So different states, different cities are situated on the foothills of Himalaya, where different type of landslides are coming in different seasons, maybe due to heavy rainfall, maybe due to certain other reasons, due to some man-made reasons are also there, due to deforestation, it can have. But if we can predict those, if we can foresee those, then at least we can control the loss that will be incurred to the society, that can be minimized. And yes, that is done up to certain level, but till date many more can be done. Earthquake is also same thing. And now industrial disaster management is one thing that is man-made one, where in industry we can think of the disaster system. So where we can think of different sensor systems to predict the gas emission, to predict the different unwanted situation when it is created into the industry, so that the people can be alerted who are in working condition, and we can save the property, including the human life, from the industry. And this is the concept system of systems, that is of IoT, where this smart home is a system, our smart healthcare is a system, our smart energy is a system, and all these systems will collaborate into a particular system of smart city, that is can be called as SOS. And if we can implement SOS, then all the systems will work as per their own thinkings, and automatically the system will be a smart system, where each and every system element works with it staying inside a system. And that is the system of system is having 5 traits: operational independence, managerial independence, evolutionary development phase, then emergent behavior and geographic distribution. And SOS is comprising of these 5 traits. And this is the evolution of the system of systems, where we can start that a particular tractor is a product which can be combined with the sensors, and that can be called as, say, smart product. Then we can connect these sensors and the tractor along with the broadband or Wi-Fi system, our wireless system, and the tractor can work for those planters, tilters, everything. The production system is along with the networking system, and at last, the overall system of systems can be taken care of for that sector when everything is mapped into a particular system. This is my system of system. This is the one. And smart city project can be visualized as the ICT enabled neural network, where the brain is the city operation or cloud data, as well as the body is working as the IoT. So all the Internet of Things that can work as the body of that system, along with the infrastructural communication network, that can be the body of the system. And this is my neural network architecture. And this is the same thing. Now quickly, yeah, now quickly we can go through the smart city solution by the industry. Why is a well-known name in industry. They have given certain smart city architecture solution, and this is the why smart city architecture solution. The smart infrastructures what are needed and smart applications what are required. Why is telling this can be done to make a city smart. This is why reference. Then five-wire reference architecture is also the same thing, but with certain changes. And the content information management is in a different layers, and that can be taken care of. That can be adopted by anyone. Then synchronicity, that is also one type of smart city solution. Synchronicity reference architecture. So these three architectures basically all are same. All are telling about the stakeholders, about the citizens and the governance to give service for its citizens, towards its citizens by the government, considering all the physical infrastructures through the technological revolutions. So technology revolution 1, 2, 3, 4, industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. So using all those things, we have to give service by the government to the citizen efficiently. That is the basic motto of this architecture. And this is more or less we are coming towards the conclusion phase, where we have to think about many things. All the standards that are not ready, but we can start the deployment. If any standard is coming on, we will accept. If not, then existing ICT standards that can be considered. So like that, we can start our thinking, and we can go beyond that. So different standardizations of globes that are there, IEEE standard, BSI standards are there. And more than that, if it is not there, we can think of the available standards, whatever is there, and we can start the process. We should not stop. Now the challenge for planners, how do we clearly articulate the community's smart city vision? What are the strategies needed to go for plan to action? What are the metrics, performance measurements to define success? How can we avoid the distractions? How do we protect and maintain the public trust? These questions are the real questions for the planner to who are planning already. Agartala is one thing, and here I am pronouncing one case study of the city Pune. So Pune, in Indian perspective, we are telling it is one of the India's smartest cities, right? And from the website, from the pages, we can find out Pune is the first city adopted by Government of India as well as the Government of Maharashtra to work as a smart city, where IEEE is also working with Pune. IEEE volunteers are working, organizations are working to make Pune as the smart city. And now, as we know, 100 smart cities are there. So what is the vision? This vision and mission and the total guidelines how Pune will carry on the work is available in the Smart City project websites. That as reference I am giving here. The vision is leveraging its rich cultural and natural heritage. So that has to be leveraged. Pune is a city, multicultural city. Though it is in Maharashtra, but in Pune, different cultural people are there other than Marathi. So they have to think about the rich cultural and natural heritage, strong human capital and strong business environment as key strengths. So what is the key strengths of Pune? That is found out here. Then Pune aspires to become the most livable city in India by solving its core infrastructure issue in a future-proof way. This future-proof way that has to be defined into the detailed project plan. And by making its neighborhoods beautiful, clean, green, livable throughout involvement of the community of Pune. So, through the neighborhoods, beautiful, clean, green, and livable. What we want much more? We do not want much more. We want these only to live. So, what mission as a mission, what they have done? They identified the true needs and views of the citizen. They goes to the 50% of the households to survey their needs. They focus on more with less solutions. That is, more will be given with less capital intensive, capital money. So more facilities will be given. They focus on cities raising funds from own sources so that they should not depend on state or central funding in future. So whatever infrastructure will be created after that, they will make themselves sustainable. Focus on low cost ICT based solution to improve quality of infrastructure. Low cost ICT based so that from the resources, whatever they will generate, those can be manageable. Focus on implementability, feasibility, and impact that will do best for it. And with this mission, Pune is working, Pune is done. And this is my references. And if anyone is interested about the case studies, Pune case study is available as well as other city case studies are available from the website. And I hope I did not cross the time. So thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing wonderful information about smart cities, which is very important to us and is a hot topic for research, for sharing global smart city market segmentation, smart city crisis in India, crisis for quality education, smart home, smart mobility, ICT enabled, neural network, and obviously system of systems, which is very important topic nowadays, and smart city disaster management, and also case studies in Pune. I hope these all statements and your lectures will give us good problem statements, a lot of problem statements for us to carry out our research work. Now, I would like to ask our participants to ask a question directly to sir. Has there any question from any participants? So if you have any questions, so you can drop a mail to sir. Sir email ID is already there in sir slides. Okay. So thank you so much, sir, once again for your wonderful information. Yeah. So our and another important discussions with participants is that we will share your feedback form in our WhatsApp group, which will be treated as an attendance. Minimum 80% attendance is essential for that as per as AICTE guideline. And apart from that, I will discuss another important thing that now we have a lunch session from 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. After that, we have a second session 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Okay, so I would like to request all participants to join in the same link at the same time from 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Thank you so much, sir, for your lecture, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.